Are you eyeing a medical coding certification in 2024 and finding it kind of overwhelming? If so, you're definitely not alone, but you're in luck because in this video, I'm going to discuss some strategies that you can use to make you successful in your endeavors. Hey there, I'm Victoria. I'm a medical coder, auditor, educator, and content creator, and on my channel, I provide tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you be successful in a medical coding career. Today's video is sponsored by Preppy, which is an amazing online platform that helps train aspiring medical coders like you. More details to follow, but let's get into medical coding studying, specifically if you want to self-study medical coding in 2024. So can medical coding be self-taught? It is possible. It's probably going to be easier if you have some kind of background in healthcare, or at least are familiar with things like medical terminology and medical insurance. Because if you're not familiar with med term and insurance, there might be some other prerequisite things you want to do. Medical coding is a big path that people look into when they want to work from home and they want to work in a secure space like healthcare, but there's a lot of considerations that you have to think about. For example, medical coding is a little cost prohibitive, even if you self-study. It's not going to be something that you can do for free unless you happen to have some free resources, which is only a very small percentage of people that would have access to that. First, let me backtrack. What is medical billing and medical coding? I have a video that discusses the nuances between the differences between billing and coding. They're kind of two sides to the same coin, but we're going to talk in this video specifically about more so medical coding. Medical coding is the review of medical records, medical data, reading through it, analyzing it, and converting it into uniform codes. Things for diagnoses, procedures, services, medical equipment, drugs. The average salary for a medical coder is around $58,000. I know a lot of people that are making considerably more than that. Entry level might be more around 45, but it varies so much depending on your experience, where you're located. There is a salary calculator that I can link to you in the video description below so that you can get a more accurate feeling for your area. In order to get a job in medical coding, most employers are looking for a certification through two main certification bodies, AAPC or AHIMA. Most people go with AAPC, and the CPC is sort of the premier in this. It's the one that most people default to. It is a great starter credential. However, there's a lot of costs involved with becoming a CPC. For example, you have to purchase books. So in order to even sit for the certification exam, you have to have the books. ICD-10-CM, CPT, and HCPCS, and that's about $300 for those three books. The only other alternative option is if you're working somewhere where they would provide you books, or if you could maybe loan them from your library, or if you have a friend that can get them for you, that maybe they have old books you can study with or start to get a feel for. Sometimes you can find discounted books online, but they might be older editions, which are not accurate. Codes get updated every single year, not the entire code set, but there's maybe like a 2 to 5% change in codes. So you have to have your books. In order to sit for the CPC exam, you have to become a member of the AAPC. So if you're self-studying, you can't get a student discount, which means you have to pay the full membership fee, which is $205. And you have to pay that every single year in order to maintain your certification. You can't be certified but not be a member of the AAPC. And then you have to pay for your exam fee. The exam fee is $399, which brings your grand total to a little over $600 just for your books and your membership and your certification exam. And that doesn't include the tools to actually teach you medical coding. The books themselves, the code books, don't really teach you medical coding. There are resources available, and there's lots of self-study tools that have grown popularity, like just going through YouTube. There are some videos on YouTube through great organizations like AMCI where you can find some basic information, but it lacks any formal support, and it might not be the most efficient or impressive to employers. That's why I recommend that you go through an education program like Preppy, and you can find out more about that at my medicalcodingmasterclass.com. The free career masterclass tells you all about a career in medical billing and coding and everything you need to know in order to be successful in this career. And then it talks more about Preppy, which is the program that I recommend because it checks off all of those boxes. You get so much amazing support from Preppy, and it's a great cost-effective self-study program that's on demand at your own pace, so you don't have to worry about things like student loan debt. You can find out more at medicalcodingmasterclass.com. Now, of course, you should also look into other opportunities, like there might be community colleges in your area where you can get grants. That's something that I have done in the past. I've gotten grants for my education in medical billing and coding. And of course, there's tons of programs out there like through the AAPC directly, but we're talking about self-study. If you're someone who wants to cut costs by self-studying, here are the tools you need. You need your code books, so an ICD-10 book, a CPT book, and a HCPCS book if you're going to get into professional fee coding and go for the CPC exam. You can get any edition of the ICD-10 or HCPCS you want. I recommend having the AMA edition of the CPT book because that's the one they use for the certification exam. It's the only one you can take to the certification exam. But if you want to get other editions of ICD-10 or HCPCS, that's fine. I would suggest current year, but if you're like, hey, I got some for free or cheap and I just kind of want to get a feel for it, I won't begrudge you that. Now, if you don't know medical terminology and you need to get that before you start studying medical coding, because otherwise things won't make sense, there's a great book you can purchase. It's called Medical Terminology and Anatomy for Coding. It is specifically made to coordinate with medical coding programs and speak in terms that relate to medical coders. This copy here is the 3rd edition. There's a new 4th edition available. I will link that below as well if you want to buy that from Amazon. It's a red book, or you can also go on Vital Source Bookshelf and rent it. So if you're like, I think I can crack this down in like 90 days, you can rent it at a cheaper price through the ebook by just renting it online. And of course, you'll need material to teach you medical coding because you need some references, practice, all that. I recommend these step-by-step medical coding books. These are the books that I used to teach with at the tech school. They're the ones that they use in Preppy. They are fantastic resources. However, I will tell you there's been some changes as far as self-study goes. In prior years, they used to give you half of the answers to the questions in practice that they have in the book. So it would be like all of the answers to the odd numbers. In 2023, they changed it and gave you all of the answers in the book because so many people were self-studying. But then I guess instructors started complaining again, and now for 2024, a lot of the answers are in there, but some of them are not. And it's not like odds and evens, it's like this whole chapter, but then not this section. You will not find a better book to learn medical coding, so I still recommend it even though all of the answers might not be in the book for the 2024 editions. They have the paper books and they have ebooks as well. Whether you get the paper or ebook, look for the editions though that come with the online course. So you can get a course that comes with it through Elsevier with your book purchase, and there's some additional resources available there as well. Now, they're not video lectures, it's literally just click through stuff, but it's definitely better than having nothing at all. And then when you're ready to sit for your certification exam, I would also recommend looking into at least the CPC study guide because it'll break down all of the concepts that they're commonly going to test on for the CPC exam. And the study guide usually includes a practice exam. Practice makes perfect, so if you can spring for it, practice exams are great as well. So while self-study for medical coding is feasible, it's not the right fit for everyone. If you need something more structured, definitely look into Preppy because it is cost effective and has a lot of great features to it. But check out other resources. I don't begrudge anyone that wants to go through their community college, find a local instructor, learn from a friend. And if you want to find out more about how to structure your self-study plan, you can find out more about that in this video. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. And until then, just keep on coding on.